Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at Michael Stackpole's first book in the Blood of Kerensky trilogy called Lethal Heritage. This book is about 390 pages long. It took me 4 days for me to read it. It is the first book of another trilogy that he wrote in the BattleTech universe. This trilogy was originally published by FASA, the company that puts out the wargaming, that BattleTech, the wargame that's based off of, as well as the RPGs and some other stuff set in the world and some other stuff too. Then it was republished by Rock after they took over the book publication rights. And so my copy are the republications by Rock after they did it. So I knocked out I was intending to do 90 pages a day. Since it's 380 pages long. The first day I was so interested in it that I did do 100. I was thinking it was a Thursday, so I was thinking I'd probably do like 120 pages because I was really enjoying it. Maybe I could do it in 3 days instead of 2. But then my dad called coming back from my barbershop quartet practice, so I went ahead and spent some time talking to him. And so I wasn't able to knock it out as quickly as I wanted to, but I got 110 pages out the first day. Second day, Friday night, was our game night for board games, so I only read a couple of chapters on Friday. On Saturday, I did a deeper dive into it, knocked out 160 pages of it. And then yesterday, on Sunday, I knocked out 80 pages, and I finished it in just one sitting. And then I was still interested in it, so I knocked out 175 pages in the sequel because I was still in the mood for some more BattleTech stuff. So I definitely was doing a deeper dive into it, doing it more quickly than I had initially intended. That's some good stuff. Michael Stackpole is taking a genre, the BattleTech series. Typically, it's more of a military science fiction, and his stuff is less battles, and more the political thrillers. So I would say his stuff is more of a political thriller than it is a set in the future in the 31st century. Than it is more based on the war game, like a military science fiction side would be. Like the first books and the first trilogy, but this stuff was published early on. This is the first part where we find out what happened to the clans. The clan invasion is told mostly from the Intersphere side. There is one character, Phelan Kell, who becomes Phelan Wolf, who becomes Phelan Ward, and he is a character who's captured by the clans and then will become indoctrinated with them. So we'll follow his, and he becomes a key point of view character then for this trilogy, and finding out more about the clans. Then there's also a trilogy that tells the clan side of things, which I just read, knocked it out in 5 days, and so you'll already have seen those. Those were published after this, but I was really in the mood for, so I went ahead and skipped it and then did those. So I'm going to be giving this a 7 out of 10. It was definitely gripping. I read it probably faster than I was expecting to in a couple of days. I was still planning to do it in 4 days, and I still did it in 4 days, but one day I only read 2 chapters, right? It said 20 pages. So it wasn't like I read that much on that day. And then the next couple of days I really knocked it out and did a deeper dive into it. And then I did 160 pages of the next one. So I did a lot of pages Sunday, yesterday in the BattleTech universe while I was reading. So I like doing a deeper dive into these things and rereading things that I read a long time ago when I was in grade school or high school or junior high or college or grad school, and then which I haven't touched again since then after a couple of decades. I'm now 45, right? And I read my first BattleTech novels, the ones I just reviewed for you, in 10th grade. I started playing BattleTech in 9th grade, the war game. And so I started reading in 10th grade with the first 3 books that are published by the Rock series that I already reviewed for you. The Robert Thurston show, Jade Phoenix show that I just talked about, that told the clan side of things, this deep dive into clan society, which are seen as antagonists in the clan invasion. Most stories do not. So it was, I think, a rare decision and a brave decision to start a new series by Rock with the 3 books that tell a deeper dive into the clan side of things. But anyway, so I read those first. I liked them, so I did a deeper dive, and I picked up all the older stuff, and I did a deeper dive into them. And then as they were getting published, I read them as soon as they were getting published, but I haven't gone back and reread them since. So seeing what I think now, which is a 7 out of 10 for them, I think is a lot of fun stuff that's happening. This is Michael Stackpole's 4th novel in the BattleTech series. His first novel was the Warrior Trilogy, which we reviewed for you previously, which tells the story of the 4th Succession War. which takes place pretty quickly in a pretty quick little thing. This is a generation later, and most of his main characters and point of view characters are the scions of major characters in the battlefield. So, for example, Phelan Kell, who we talked about earlier, he is the son of Morgan Kell, the ruler of the Kell Hounds, and one of the best best back warriors in the universe. And one of the best known merc units in the universe too. So he is the scion of them as their firstborn child. Then we have the son of the Senews Compact, Kai Aller Liao, and he is the son of the Senews Compact leader, Candice Lau, and her husband, Justin Un. And then we have the scion of the Draconis Combine, Hohiro Kurita, and his Yakuza buddy, Shin Yudama, who actually has more pages than Hohiro Kurita. And then Victor Ian Standardavian is the son of the Federated Commonwealth and the Illyrian Commonwealth that got married in the Warrior Coupe trilogy, and they're merging into one union now. And he is the son of both of those, the firstborn son. So we'll follow along with a lot of these. Sun Tzu Liao, the heir to the Capellan Confederation, another successor state, will also be introduced. So we're introduced to a lot of these characters, and a lot of these characters will be huge characters, and we're going to be doing deeper dives and deeper dives and deeper dives into this next generation of characters after the ones that were introduced in Wolves on the Border and the Warrior Coupe trilogy. And these sorts of things, and so we'll be doing a deeper dive into a lot of these characters, and we'll be picking up a lot of these books. So there are a lot of different things that are happening in this book. Basically, it has the invasion of the clans up until the one of the wins against the Free Solid Republic has a major win against the clans, which will set them back, and they'll go back home. And that is the end of the first book, the first chapter, then, if you will, of the clan invasion saga. And then you'll have a couple of wins, one in the Illyrian Commonwealth, side of the Federated Commonwealth, and one in the Draconis Combine. You'll have a couple of good wins that will happen for the good guys of the Inner Sphere, if you will, of the protagonists, and so you'll follow along with those. Again, this is a key thing. I try to keep my reviews spoiler free, so I'm only giving you sort of the basic synopsis of what's happening. Now, this is set in the 31st century, so it's about 1,000 years in the future. It's set in 3050. In early 3051, and then basically what's winding up happening is that we have expanded, and we have settled thousands of colonies across and stars across the universe in what is known as the Inner Sphere, and then outside that is the Periphery, which has lesser powered and so forth. More pirates are out there in the Periphery and so forth. We have not found any intelligent life. We are the only intelligent life that we have found in more than 1,000 years of exploration. Which means we have brought all of our foibles with us. We've never come better as the Federation has, and put aside our issues like poverty and these sorts of things. There was a 300-year period where man was united, showing off their bright star called the Star League. So the Star League fell in the 28th century. In the mid 28th century, there was an Ameris coup. The leader was assassinated, and then there was a coup led by General Kerensky. After he saw the fall of the Inner Sphere and all the moving towards embracing weapons of mass destruction for the first time in centuries, since the age of the Star League, he left with all of his troops in an exodus. And then he sets up his son sets up the clans, and that's where the clans come from. And so they're being invaded by the descendants of Kerensky, who see themselves as the good guys. And so that's what's led to the clan invasion. In the meantime, the Inner Sphere has fallen further and further and further behind in succession wars. There are 4 of them that are told. And so again, so that's sort of the key, sort of what's happening in the 31st century. Again, there are a lot of IPs in this world. Video games, card games, role-playing games, collectible miniature game, Saturday morning cartoon, more than 100 novels, right? There's a lot of IP in this involved in this stuff. So you can definitely do a deeper dive into it if you want. So there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Have you read Lethal Heritage by Michael A. Stackpole, the first novel in the Blood of Kerensky trilogy? If so, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. If you want to talk about spoilers, hey, let's do it. If you enjoyed this video, why not hit that subscribe button. There's going to be a lot more of these to follow. And then thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, pulled in so many different directions. So the fact you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.